Ladies and gentlemen, step one on solving a 3x3 system is to pick two out of the three original equations and get a variable to cancel. So the first task is to look at your x's, 3, 2, -5. Look at your y's, 6, 1, -2. Look at your z's, -2, 4, and 8. And obviously you want to pick the easier path. Which one do you think is easier to cancel? The x's, the y's, or the z's? Y's. Y's are good. Z's are also good. X's also fine, but I think y is the easiest. And it says not only pick two equations, but what variable you want to cancel. You guys already told me y's. Do you want to use the first one and the last one, the first one and second one to cancel out y's? I don't know. What do you think? Second and third? Second and third. So we're going to use the second one and the third one. So just to stay color coordinated here, I want to highlight that one yellow, highlight this one yellow, because that's what step one is highlighted as yellow. Okay, so we are going to cancel out the y's, and that means I am not going to do anything to my third one. I'm just going to rewrite it. So that's -5x minus 2y plus 8z equals 62. And the middle one, I will have to modify it. I'm going to multiply by 2. That way, this y will become a 2y, which will cancel with that -2y. So we're modifying the middle one by 2. And we'll get 4x. We will get plus 2y plus 8z equals 2 times 19 is 38. You guys agree? Yes. All right. So now we are able to combine the lines, eliminate the y's. 4 minus 5 is -1 with an x. 8 plus 8 is 16. And of course, we're talking about z's. Equals 38 plus 62. Dang, that is 100. This is step one, finding this new equation number one that only has two variables, right? Let's move on to step two. Step two reads, go back to the original, use the one equation you have not used. That would be this one up here. I highlighted it in red because that's what it tells us to do. Use the one we haven't used. And if you haven't highlighted this in your notes from yesterday, I would highlight this. A lot of people forget to do this. Get the same variable to cancel. You need that same exact y value to cancel, right? Unless you cancel out x's, you need the x's to cancel. If we cancel out z's on step one, you need z's to cancel. But because we canceled out y's on step one, we need to use one we haven't used, and we need to make this y disappear. So this is a 6y. How could I make this 6y disappear? With a -6y. So do I want to use the middle one, or do I want to use the bottom one to get a -6y? Looks like the bottom one would be nicer, right? So one thing for sure, we're not going to do anything to the top equation. The one we haven't used, we need to use it, and I'm not going to do anything besides rewrite it. Here it is. 3x plus 6y minus 2z equals -6. Okay, and we said we're going to take the bottom one and we're going to multiply by what? By 3. That way we'll end up with, let's figure out, we got -5 times 3, that's -15x. We have -2y times 3 is -6y. And then we have 8z times 3, that's 24 with a z. And 62 times 3, dang, that's 186, right? 186. Okay, and again, the whole purpose of doing this is to get that same variable to cancel, in this case, y's, when we combine those lines. So let's actually do that. When we combine the lines, we end up with a -12x right here. The y's disappear. We end up with a plus 22z equaling, what the heck is -6 plus 186 is 180. Big numbers. I am not feeling too good about myself right now, but let's just move forward. New equation number 2. So these big numbers are scaring me. Anyway, we move on to step 3. Create your new 2x2 system. You see, the whole purpose of getting comfortable with these instructions is to create a 2x2 system. Why? Because we know how to solve 2x2 systems. So all I'm going to do is take this equation and just put them together, and that will be my new 2x2 system. I'll even write it right here. New 2x2. New. Right here, right below that green notation, I want to write my new 2x2 system that comes from new equation 1 and new equation 2. First one is negative x plus 16y, z, equals 100. And the other one is negative 12x plus 22z equals 180. Okay, so there's our new 2x2 system. All I did was rewrite this one and rewrite this one right there, and I have my new 2x2 system. Now I could temporarily ignore everything else and just focus in on this nice, beautiful new 2x2 system and decide, do I want to cancel out x's or z's? X's. It's obviously way easier to think of the multiples of 1 and 12 as opposed to the multiples of 16 and 22, right? So let's cancel out the 12s. How could I cancel out the negative 12x down here? By doing what to this top one? Multiplying by negative 12. That's exactly right. So I am modifying this top equation, multiplying everything by negative 12. So I will get positive 12x. I need a calculator. What's negative 12 times 160? Anybody? So we get negative 192. Please let me know if we're wrong here. And last but not least, 12 times 100 is 1200, 1200, right? So equals negative 1200. The bottom one, we're just going to rewrite it. That's negative 12x. That's plus 22z. And that is 180. Now we could combine the lines. The x's eliminate. And we end up with negative 170 with the z equaling 1020. Negative 1020, is that right? Okay, thanks for verifying that. Cool. Final step would be to divide by, man, tell me this works, please, somebody with the calculator. It does? What's the answer? 6. Thank goodness. Yes. I mean, I never had doubts. I knew we were on the right track. Anyway, we have the answer z equals 6. Now let's plug in that 6 back into either the top of the 2x2 or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. I am going to go for the top. The top one says negative x plus 16z equals 100. Notice that I left a blank spot, or I put parentheses so I could plug in the z. I know that z is 6. So when I do this math, negative x, what is that, 96 plus 96 equals 100. Subtract 96 on both sides. You'll end up with negative x equals 4, which means that when you divide by negative 1, x equals negative 4. So we found our two answers to the new 2x2 system that we created. And now we're finally at step 4, because step 3 was create that 2x2 system and solve it. And that's what we did here. We created the new 2x2 system and we solved it, got our two answers. Step 4, substitute your answers back into the original. Which one? Any one you want. Middle one? Okay, so I'm going to take that middle one and I'm going to rewrite it. This middle one right here, rewritten, will be 2x plus y plus 4z equals 19. That's the middle one rewritten. And all I need to do is plug in the x value of negative 4. So 2 times negative 4 plus y plus 4z, and z is 6, equals 19. Now all we need to do is solve it. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus y. 4 times 6 is 24, equals 19. Combine like terms, negative 8, 24. What is that, 16? So we have y plus 16 equals 19. Final step, subtract 16, y equals 3. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we going to write our answer? As an ordered triple. Parenthesis, -4, comma, 3, comma, 6. Has to be in order. Ordered triple, X, Y, Z. If you have A, B's, and C's, it has to be in order, A, B, and C. Okay? One other thing you should do is to double check your answer. So you could, I recommend if you're doing this on your quiz or test, write it out, right? Like if you, or at least write out each value, like -4 times 3, that's -12. You could easily just jot down a -12 right there. 3 times 6 is 18. You could easily put a plus 18. And then 6 times 2 is 12. With the minus sign in front, that'd be a -12. So you could just jot down those numbers and then verify, if I do -12 plus 18 minus 12, will it give me -6? Yes, it does, right? I'm going to explain the next, or verify the next two equations without showing any work. -4 right here, that's -8. 3 right here is 3. -8 and 3 is -5. Plug in the 6 right there, that's 24, because 6 times 4 is 24. -5 plus 24 is 19. Again, I recommend you write down these values and use a calculator. -4 right there, that's +20 if you multiply them together. 3 right there, that's -6. +20 and -6 is 14. Plug in a 6 right there, that's 48. 14 and 48 really does give you 62, so it does work. That is your answer. We've triple checked it. It works for all three. That's your answer.